Hi everybody, my name is Dennis and welcome back to another album review. Today we're reviewing the latest record from the rapper-producer duo of Freddie Gibbs and Madlib entitled Bandana. Now, this is in a lot of ways a sequel to their project from a few years ago entitled Pinata. Now, Pinata right now is viewed as a legendary album despite it being out for a relatively short period of time. And I think it's legendary for good reason. The beats are impeccable. Freddie Gibbs' flow has this old school style to it while still having this new appeal. His bars are strong. I mean, just everything about the album is just so well done. It has this nice classic gangster rap feel to it that so few artists are able to bring to the table. And Madlib is just one of the best producers right now, hands down. I mean, we have all these huge producers that do all these trap beats, but I mean, we have Madlib here who has an impeccable taste for sampling, an absolutely amazing ear for putting together different beats using whether it be synthesizers, pianos, or some heavy snares to it. So he makes anywhere from beautifully elegant to catchy and smooth all the way to straight banger beats, and he does all of these in a really amazing way. I mean, from the beginning, the song of Freestyle crap is absolutely phenomenal in the production. I mean, do you hear I believe that they're trumpets on there. I mean, do you hear those on there? They are just absolutely phenomenal. And Freddie Gibbs' flow is just, there's just no other. And these two work together in such a phenomenal way where even though each of their solo work may be decent, it may be good at times, when they work together, they have this amazing artistic bond that just allows them to create absolutely phenomenal music. So, I mean, from that song, we have the song Half Main, Half Cocaine, and I'll be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of this. I did think the mixing was a bit off at times. I thought the production was oftentimes significantly louder than Freddie Gibbs' vocals. I honestly didn't think his vocals were all that good on the song, which was out of character for him, not on here, but also on one of the later tracks, about midway through, called Situations. I actually thought he gave a pretty poor vocal performance on here, pretty much the entire way through. It seemed like on this album, either both of them did great or neither of them did great as far as Freddie Gibbs and Madlib go, because on most of the songs here, both of them do amazing. But there were a few weak points. Like I said, Half Main, Half Cocaine, it does have a decent switch up, but neither halves of the song are really all that memorable. Again, the song Situations was really poorly sung. It did have a decent rap verse at the end, if I'm being honest, but it really wasn't even close to saving the song. The vocals were just really weak, the hook was irritating at best, and the beat was pretty forgettable as well, which, again, this is really uncharacteristic for both of these artists. I also thought the last three tracks on the album weren't all that great. None of these were bad, like I thought Half Main, Half Cocaine or Situations weren't good. None of these songs were bad, these last three, but none of them really stood out to me all that much. It's kind of hard to pinpoint what exactly about them I wasn't loving. The beats were fine, the flows were fine, but really just never excelled to the point that so many of these other songs did. These songs were okay, but okay just doesn't cut it sometimes. So it's decent, but the last three tracks on the album, you can kind of just skip those ones, if I'm being honest. They're fine, they're just nothing amazing. However, aside from this, every single track on here is amazing. The song Crime Pays, with its beautifully blissful yet catchy aesthetic to it thanks to Madlib's production. And now we have Freddie Gibbs doing what he does best, giving amazing bars, amazing flows, and a classic old school sound to his voice. And it's just an amazing song overall. I mean, and I also love the samples on not just this song, but so many of the other songs on here. Just so well done. There were a couple points on the album where it was almost like skits in a way. like they took this one comedic piece. It kind of had some dark humor to it. I forget now who did the piece, but it was basically about how this man caught his wife cheating. He killed both her and the guy she was cheating with, and then he's in jail talking to his friend, and his friend's like, well, it could have been worse. If you'd come last Tuesday, you would have gotten me too. and I laughed at that way more than I probably should have the first few times I heard it. It's a funny piece, though, I gotta be honest, and it serves as a nice transitional skit between a couple of songs on here. And we also have the Don't Give a Frick Friday, the Frick-a-Q. We have that little skit that occurs after one of the songs on here. I believe it was on Situations, and that was a nice little fun skit to it. And these skits oftentimes just allow the album to flow better between tracks, because I did notice some of the tracks, even if both songs were individually really good, flowing from one to the next automatically just felt a little bit awkward, almost like a tiny bit of whiplash going on in there. However, these nice skits really did help to minimize that problem through a lot of the songs on here, so it could have been better through a couple of the tracks, but overall, I saw them trying to address this issue, and it worked decently well. The song Massage Sheets, going back into specific tracks here, Massage Seats had a very more simple beat, had a pretty much nothing but drums to it, and it was mostly carried by, once again, Freddie Gibbs' absolutely impeccable flow, and it ends up working really well. It ends up being a really fun, really exciting song, despite its very simple beat. And this is a high risk, because you can easily take a beat like this, and it just turns into this boring drone fest of a song with no emotion or life to it. But the On Top of the World sample, mixed with, again, the very heavy-hitting drums, making up pretty much the entirety of the instrumentals on this song, were actually done really tastefully, and Freddie Gibbs' driving vocals and his amazing flow on here just carry the song, and it allows this much more simple beat to carry so much more weight than it would have on its own, in my opinion. The song Palmolive was another really good track on here with a much smoother, much softer, much more graceful beat to it that just shows Madlib's diversity and his versatility in his art. And we have a really great hook on this song from Killer Mike, and Pusha T gives a really nice verse as well. Both of these two artists work really well with Freddie Gibbs, even though I would have liked a bit more Gibbs on this song, if I'm being honest. He did get kind of overshadowed just in pure runtime on the song. It didn't really bother me too bad, because all of the artists on here just did such an amazing job, and again, I really loved the beat on this thing. Fake Names, another gangster rap heavier song, where a lot of times we see Freddie Gibbs talking about growing up in these difficult gang-ridden environments where you would have to use fake names to avoid getting shot by whether it be authorities or other gangs, it seems. And a lot of the lyrics on this album, not just on this song in particular, but they do tend to have this old school gangster rap style to them, where even if they're not the most profound or they're not the most revealing, they're still really well written, and they end up producing some really fun bars throughout. And I don't want to repeat myself too much, so I'm going to go through some of these other songs kind of quickly. We got the song Flat Tummy Tea, which is an absolute banger of a song. The beat is just, oh my goodness, amazing. We have the song Giannis featuring Anderson .Paak. Anderson .Paak's hook on this thing is perfect. You could not have asked for a better hook. Anderson .Paak doing amazing on here. The song Practice, just yet another really fun song. It has a much softer, smoother, luscious beat to it that ends up being really emotional and sad at times, where it does end up revealing a lot about him as a person. And the last track I want to talk about here is the song Cataracts, which, again, I don't want to repeat myself too much, but it's a really fun song, has a nice beat to it, it's very smooth, it's very luscious. So, with that being said, this is an amazing album all the way through. There were some weak moments at times, but I did really like it quite a lot. Definitely recommend. I'm feeling a solid 8 on this. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Be sure to tell me how wrong my opinion is, as always, and I'll see you in the next review.